Very exciting times coming out of GTII as we realize the upside that we were looking for early from yesterday's analysis. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with the GTII technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this happy Friday, March 10th. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we're looking at GTII on the 5-day time frame here, and just so that I can be a little clear to whoever is kind of new to the channel, we have taken a backtest of two different time frames regarding or involving, volatility represented by this indicator BBWP and momentum represented by stochastic momentum. Okay, you guys. So what this essentially does is that anytime we have expanded into a critical volatility zone, which could be within the 90th percentile, and started a contraction phase towards the downside, paired with stochastic momentum to the upside, I've taken note of that iterations. I've taken note of the times that happened with an upside thrust, the duration of the iteration, and the amount of times that the iterations got the upside correctly versus incorrectly. Okay, so I've done so far I've done about 5 or 6 years of backtest on the 5-day, but on the 3-day, I've actually done the entire trading history of the GTII asset throughout the entire trading history, right? So in this case, let's go ahead and just refer to the 3-day time frame backtest first. Okay, so what we're looking at here, remember, anytime we have expanded into critical volatility and started the contraction phase to the downside, paired with an upside pivot of stochastic momentum, we've seen about 31 iterations throughout the entire trading history, of which 21 have been guessed to the upside correctly, giving us an average upside accuracy of 67.74% with an averaged upside thrust of a massive 971.33% over the span of just over 22.5 days. This is proof of work here, okay, you guys? So what I'm basically saying is that the signal is fired, and upon the closure of the 3-day candle that we faced yesterday, we were very curious, and we were waiting and waiting to see what happened to momentum regarding the downside that we were facing on that on the previous 3-day candle, right? And since we got a little bit of an upside from that candle, from the new candle, actually, at the tail end of this candle here, which was the last one that we printed, we got that little upside there, and that had enough juice to pump the momentum towards the upside, favoring our direction, okay? And also, in a sense, respecting the linear regression. Okay, so this is very important what we looked at, because this essentially validated our signal as a continuation to the upside, okay? Because right now, as of the present moment, we have moved up. Let's see, we're currently sitting from the firing of the signal, right? So right over, yeah, right there. So from the firing of the signal, we are currently sitting up. I'm sorry, the firing of the signal was actually right down here, right? So let's see. Yeah, right about here. Okay. Very, very cool stuff. So from the firing of the signal is going to be a different valuation, right? So you're looking at almost 200% move to the upside thus far, right? But overall, since from that 45-cent bottom, of which I was talking about 47 or 48, of course, it just surpassed my target just a little bit. We are currently sitting at 318% to the upside. So this is looking good. Okay, if you are very curious to see where the 900% would essentially take us from the refiring of the signal, it would actually take us to an area with very high correlation to this to the resistance of the ascending channel itself. Okay, so that would take us to about $10, and that is very exciting because it's still suggesting that move to the upside. Okay, so in the shorter term time frame, we have some confluence too between the 5-day statistical backtest and this right angle triangle that we're essentially realizing right now and breaking out from that resistance. So this is great. This is absolutely great. We were talking about the potential of breaking out of this triangle yesterday, since we were right at that 70% mark to the apex of the triangle itself, right? So in order for you to get a price objective for this triangle, you take a trend line from that top side of the triangle to the lower point, and you apply it to the supposed area of breakout. So we were guessing that it would be this candle here, and it in fact is. Okay, so that's taking us to a target of about, let's see, about $3.73, right around there. And it just so happens to be right under the 3.618 golden mean. Okay, so very interesting times happening here for GTII. Now, regarding the confluence between this triangle target and the 5-day backtest, please go ahead and notice here. Okay, so the firing of this of the statistical upside for the 5-day happened right down here. Okay, so we have moved to the upside. Let's see, we have moved to the upside to that 298 level we were looking at, right, for resistance, where we faced this top side, which was just about 23.57% away from our target. Okay, so completing the move from the 298, of course, I know we're at 288. Completing that move to the upside takes us to a target of about 374. Okay, so that backtest of the 5-day, previous 5 or 6 years of backtest, you're looking at a total of 9 iterations, of which 8 were guessed correctly to the upside, giving us a ridiculous upside accuracy of 88.89% with an averaged upside thrust of 183.05% over the span of about 25 3/4 days. That's taking us to essentially that 373 target, which is in high confluence here to the triangle price objective of 373, right? So very, very good stuff lined up for GTII. A lot of rhyming, a lot of correlation happening here. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to the next chart, because I know a lot of you are curious to see how we're doing with this, with the timing side of the ascending channel that we're riding in, right? So of these waves. So right now we were talking about, to give you a little bit of a clearer picture, we can actually refer to this chart here. You can actually see that we're definitely facing that. Support touch, just like we talked about yesterday. We're at support, very high likelihood that we can continue on to that upside, and we have done as such. Okay, so the very important thing here is that we have broken upside of this overall resistance here. Okay, so let me just show you with a trend line what that looks like. Just like this. Okay, so please notice this candle here, this one, resistance here, opening of this one here, closing of this one here. I'm sorry, opening of this one here and closing of this in this one. Whatever, you know what I mean. So, and then we have the support touch right there, guys. High confluence here, and of course it would be the gap resistance. Okay, so this gap here. Okay, so let's go ahead and now look at the price action, okay, because it looks like we are, let's see, the next target, guys, the next target, I already see it. The next target is going to be still the same one that we've been battling, okay? So I just need everybody to be super careful with this one, okay? So let me go back to let me go back to the 3-day and just validate, okay, you guys? So just like we faced the resistance, of course, at 298, right? So this was the top side target. I told everybody congratulations for that, you know, and then of course we started reaccumulating. Is because that's the top side I saw. Okay, so I didn't mean to stop everything. There's just that's the way the plays work. All right, so the next target that we're very likely to see is actually going to be at about 201. Okay, and that 201 has a lot of correlation to two gaps. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to take my cursor and use the horizontal line of the cursor to line up with this wick high here from back here. Okay, so let me just take into consideration that wick there and the gap top right here. Okay, so please notice that we still have a gap top back here located at about 225. Okay, so if we have to combat first this gap here. So very, very likely in the coming days, we can actually see a test of about let's see, $2. Yeah. So we're sitting right now post-market 188, right? So, and traditional market close was 187, which is very interesting. I thought this didn't have any after hours activity, but you can see TradeStation still moving it. Very, very interesting times coming for GTII. Okay, guys, so now let's go ahead and move on to, oh, did I really have that right there? Nice. I love it. Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart, and this is going to be the RSI. Okay, this is going to basically tell us how we're going to be moving for the next or for the coming days, right? So the immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute, right at the junction between the bull strength percentile and the overbought percentile, suggesting an upside pivot. Even still, very strong right now, very likely to be pulled into that overbought. Okay, so go ahead and notice at the 4-hour, which, by the way, yesterday the 4-hour, we were looking at it right here. We were looking at this. We were looking at this as a high potential for us to come back and test the 14-day simple moving average before a bounce to the upside. If you are curious about what I said, definitely take a look at the last video I printed, and the last video was titled as the play is on. Or yeah, I think it was the play is on, right? Just the last one that I put out. I suggested that we would come back down to validate this as a support before continuing on to the upside, and that exactly happened. Okay, you guys, so we are now in the bull strength percentile and very much in the grips of it. I know we still have a little bit of a weakening upside pivot, but we are essentially very bullish, and we still have an upside pivot from that 14-day simple moving average. Please notice on the 8-hour, we are entering the bull strength percentile with an upside pivot. We definitely have that 14-day simple moving average below us, suggesting upside as well. Very good times. 12-hour time frame. Of course, this doesn't look like as strong as we want it to be, but please always remember and take into consideration where your RSI signal is sitting. Okay, so in this case, we're sitting right in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, suggesting a continuation to the upside. So this is very good. All right, and go ahead and notice that the bi-daily time frame officially making the cross that we wanted. Upside of the 14-day simple moving average, and now very much way further away from the gravitational zone here. Okay, so it's looking very good for GTII, and look at and now overall, man, look at that. So the 5-day time frame has definitely found a great support from the 14-day, and now has a significant upside. I'm very much a fan over what's happening with GTII right now. Okay, you guys. So I mean, everything is suggesting upside so far. And yeah, just with regards to the next target, I would really like for everybody to express, to kind of expect just a little bit of a pullback here from the $2 zone. And I honestly don't think that that's strong enough to kind of hold the bulls back. Right now, in this current area, we're going to be at that critical resistance. Okay, so what I'm talking about is that this is essentially one of our one of our inflection points. Okay, so 209 to $2 is an inflection point that we have to break in order for us to make the leap up to the 298 target. Okay, so 298 is going to be our true inflection point for us to break, and an absolute psychological beat. Upon beating that $2.98 zone, the next targets that I'm looking for are actually upside of about 373 to about $4.49 around there, but 373 would be the next target. Okay, so we need to combat first 2 to 209. After 2 to 209, convert as a support, move on to the upside, combat the $2.98 zone, and then continue onwards and upwards to meet the statistical target of the 5-day backtest and the price objective of the 3-day symmetrical triangle. Guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be just fine. Okay, you guys, please consider checking out the links in the description below, where you'll find Twitter and the ARCa Bulls trading community in Discord. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well a very good night and good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios.